Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am doing another get ready with me chit chat style today, and sorry my nose is itchy. Today I'm featuring the all-time hookup longwear eyeshadow by Mark in the color forest green on the eyes, and so if you want to see how I got this look, either grab your makeup bag and we'll get ready together, or, you know, grab a cup of tea or a snack and just sit back and relax for a while. And I'll show you how I did it. Okay, so my hair is wet. I'm just letting it air dry today. So, just while I do my makeup. So you'll have to bear with me. I know this is so attractive. I don't even know how I can stand myself. I'm just kidding. Okay, so today I just have a I have to go into the office for a little while today. So, you know, I need to be kind of professional, but I don't have any meetings planned or anything, so it's like a drive-by professional. I don't need to worry too much. I just need to be presentable to walk in and out, to go get my mail, to, you know, the basics, and then I'm good to go. So, let's see. I'll put my primer on. This is the Avon Magix Face Perfector with SPF 20. And so what should we talk about today? Let me turn this light on, see if it does anything different. Oops. It makes it a little bit, is that too white, or does that make it easier to see color? Might be too much light. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, so what should we talk about today? So I finally am caught up with House of Cards, which I guess it starts, the next season starts like the beginning of March, I guess. So I didn't, it took me a really long time to get around to watching it. This last season, what is it? Was it season 3? I started watching it, you know, I think in the first season, a little ways into the first season, maybe at the end of the first season, I can't really remember exactly. But I started watching it because everybody was kind of talking about it. And it started off really slow for me. I do not enjoy politics. I follow politics because you should, but it's not, I mean, if I never had to do anything with politics ever, that would be ideal, but that's just not, you know, how life goes, right? Mainly just because I get mad. It makes me really mad. I get mad at politicians, I get mad at a lot of stuff. Anyway, so you know, it's not something that I enjoy. I'm passionate about a lot of things, and they make it really hard, you know, when you care about stuff. It's hard to watch and follow. Anyway, so I'm not into political shows, really. So, I didn't really have an interest in it, obviously, when it first came out. Just, you know, wasn't my thing. But everybody was talking about it, and so I thought, okay, well, let me, you know, see what all the hype is about. You know, I like to stay up on pop culture as much as I can. I mean, there's only 24 hours in a day, so I can't watch everything, but I can kind of pick and choose and try to keep up that way. So anyway, a lot of people were talking about it, so I thought, okay, we'll check it out and see what the deal is. This is the color corrector that I'm trying to use up. I'm almost done with it. I'm getting so close. Of course, as soon as I say that, it'll take like 5 years to use up this last little bit. So I started watching it, and at first it started off really slow for me, and I was just like, you know, I don't get it. What's with the hype? And then there's an episode where I was like, holy cow, okay, I'm in. You know, sold. You got me. But then it kind of dipped back down again, and it was like, okay. And I find that it is, you know, it just stays that way for me. It's kind of like, there's some incredible stuff that happens, and I'm like, okay, you know, that's interesting. but now I'm not, I think it hooked me because it shocked me. And if you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched it, I'm not going to give any details because I don't, I don't like ruining things for people. But anyway, so it caught me in because it caught me by surprise. But now it doesn't catch me by surprise anymore. So I think that's what's sort of missing for me now is that, I sort of expect it. So I follow it, and it does have has its ups and downs. It'll go for a couple episodes where you're just like, okay, there's nothing, this is more politics for me than I'm normally interested in. And then, and then something happens that you're like, okay, it's getting interesting again, what's going to happen, kind of thing. So, anyway, between, I was really hooked, like, at the end of season 1, going into season 2, and then it kind of slowed down again. And this season 3 for me was a little slow as well. So anyway, it had some points to it. But, so anyway, after season 2, what am I, a year behind? Finally catching up with season 3, and season 4 is about to start. So anyway, but I am finally caught up, so if any of you are watching, House of Cards, comment below and kind of tell me, don't ruin anything for anybody, but sort of tell me in general, like, what your thoughts are of it. It's good, but not something I would normally be watching. And I probably wouldn't have watched it if it hadn't caught on, to some hype. Okay, so there's that. What else I want to talk to you guys about? Okay, so I'm trying to figure out, if you've followed me for a really long time, you know that I have a blog. And I have experimented on my blog with a lot of different types of ways that I could use it. Because I wanted to see sort of what people responded to the most. And I have the worst trouble getting people to comment on my blog. It's so weird because I feel like for me, the people that follow me, I do have some folks that kind of talk back and forth with me, friends through different things like the Mavens and, so I have people, Victoria always talks to me, there's people that always talk, but I feel like for the most part, people that follow my channel follow me for information or for guidance or for tips. And so they're here to get information, and so they don't respond back. Either that or I just have 200 and some, couple hundred weird stalkers or something. But I think, people for the most part come for, tips and advice and suggestions and that kind of stuff. And because of it, they don't communicate back. And part of the fun of doing this is, communicating back and forth with folks that you might have never met any other way, or, that you have the same interests. And I don't know if that's partly because, I don't know if that's an insecurity thing on their part, like they're afraid to say something because they don't want to be wrong, or they don't want anybody to come back at them, or maybe they're afraid that I'll say something, or that I'll say that I'll disagree, or I don't know, and they'll end up feeling silly. I don't know. Or maybe I just am really bad at saying the right things to get people to respond and interact. I haven't figured it out. It could be any of those things, all of the above, none of the above. I don't really know. So anyway, with my blog is probably the worst place for it. And I have tried all different kinds of posts just to see what people responded to the most. And people showed up the most when I was doing things that were meant to be a little bit inspirational, you know, where I kind of talk about like my everyday life. When I did like kind of just rolling thoughts and almost like a diary in a way, but with the intention of you know, helping to inspire people to create change in their lives. Oh, you know what? I just realized I didn't put any facial moisturizer on today. I guess I did. I need more facial moisturizer. I did put it on, but maybe my skin is dry. I didn't put nearly enough on. It's finally cold this week. Sorry, I'm going to go on a little tangent here. It's finally cold this week. Pretty much for the first time it's been like in the 20s. And it's going to get down, like Sunday the high is supposed to be like 15. And we normally have like a week or two in February where it's really, really cold. But this winter has been very mild, even for Ohio. Ohio really doesn't have terrible winters. You know, some are worse than others. We do end up with some school days. A lot of times it's because of cold temperatures, or school will be delayed because they don't want kids waiting for the school bus when it's really, really cold. Usually if we have a school day, it's just because the plows didn't get around fast enough to make it safe to get to school, and, you know, it's getting to be kind of too late. So anyway, I feel like I knocked something down, but I don't see what it is. Anyway, but, you know, I mean, we don't have terrible winters. I mean, if you live in LA or something where you don't have winter at all, basically, you know, you would think it was cold. And believe me, I think 20 degrees is cold, especially when last week it was in the 60s. That's the hard thing about Ohio, is that our temperature can fluctuate so wildly that it's almost makes it seem worse because you don't acclimate to the cold weather. I mean, like, if you go to Canada, where it's winter from like August through June, you get used to being in that cold weather, and it's not, you know, it's still cold, but you get used to it. Well, here, when it's 60 or 70 degrees one week, and then it's 20 the next, you know, it makes that 20 seem really, really cold. But at the same time, next week when it goes back up to 70 again, it's going to make that 70 seem really, really nice, and you're going to see people outside with shorts and flip-flops on. Even though it'll be a cold 70. You know, it won't be like summertime 70, because the wind will still be coming from the north. So, you know, it's a cold 70, but because it was 20 this week, you'll see people out in flip-flops and shorts. You won't see me out in flip-flops and shorts, but you'll see some people. So anyway, yeah, that was my tangent. And where was I going with that? I have no idea. Anyway, so I was talking about my blog. And, okay, so that was my concealer that's my Ideal Flawless, not concealer, foundation. Invisible Coverage Liquid Foundation in Natural Beige by Avon. So, I have experimented with different things on my blogs, and I've had a hard time, you know, getting people to respond. But I get a lot of people coming back every single day when I was doing sort of diary type posts and sort of inspirational type things where I would pick something that I maybe wanted to work on, you know, for myself. Like, one of the things that I did was I cut out Coke. You know, I did like 30-day challenges where you know, pick something that you want to work on, whether it's, you know, something you want to give up, something you want to do more of, something you want to, you know, just focus on, something you want to try for 30, whatever, you know, it could be anything. And I did, like, you know, 30-day challenges to kind of inspire people to do their own challenge, and they could follow whatever I was working on. And, you know, I would kind of put my thoughts down, I would put my struggles down, I would put my just kind of a running what happened in my day type information down. And people really followed those kind of posts. I mean, they came back day after day after day. But they still did not comment, really. And I don't know if that's out of fear, if it's out of embarrassment. So, you know, maybe Like, for example, what if you're doing something that's related to your weight and, you don't want to, you just don't feel comfortable coming on and talking about your weight and how you're trying to lose weight. I can see that being the case, but at the same time, I see people talking about that stuff all over the internet. So why, with mine, do they not participate in that way? I know they're there. I know they're coming back. I even know, in a lot of cases, exactly who it is coming, because you can see a lot of detailed information in analytics sometimes. So what, is it something that I'm not doing well enough? Or is there something about me that's intimidating in some way that makes them not, comfortable with it? Or do they just get everything they need and they don't need to interact? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I want it to be a place, I want my social media to be a place where we interact, because that is the value for me. The value, there's a lot of people on the internet that are just there to make money and to get things sent to them for free. That's not, I love, the thing about the internet that I love is the interaction with people. That to me is the whole point. That to me is the benefit. And so, struggling to get that has been so frustrating for me, because that's what I enjoy. So anyway, with my blog, another thing is that I don't want all of my social media to be regurgitation of the exact same stuff. If you follow me on all of my different channels, I want you to get something different from every single one of them. I don't want, there's a lot of bloggers out there who do videos, whatever, there's one in particular I can think of, that her blog, and a lot of people follow her blog, and I'm like, why? Because she just regurgitates everything she already showed you on Instagram and in her videos, and it's not even interesting. I don't even want to look at it. I follow it to be supportive of her, I am subscribed to it to be supportive of her, but I do not look at it ever. Not ever, because it's just repetition of what I've already seen. And, I think way back in the day, that worked, because people would follow you one place or another. Some people read blogs, and some people watched videos, and some people, would be on Twitter maybe. And people kind of only did one thing, but nowadays people get that you do it all. You just do all of it, you go everywhere. So, with people being everywhere, I don't want them to have thoughts like I have when I see that I have a email in my inbox that she's done another blog post, and I never even click on the email, because I already know that it's all the same stuff that I already saw. And to me, the video is better quality, and the is more entertaining, and just seeing photos on Instagram is more entertaining than the way it's presented in the blog. Sorry, can you guys hear my belly growling? I haven't eaten anything yet today. But it's only 9:24, so. Anyway, so I don't want people to feel that way about my stuff. I want them to find different things. I want there to be a reason for them to follow me on all the different channels. I want it to be different for them and interesting, no matter, everything they check. I want them to be like, oh, now she tweeted something, so let me see what that's about, because it's different than what she blogged about this morning, and it'll, and oh, now there's an Instagram post, well, let me check that out, because that's going to be different than what she tweeted about and what she blogged about this morning, right? So, with my blog, I've really been thinking about, okay, what do I want to do with it? And I really want something where people are really interacting with me, with each other, that we're really doing something together. So, I've been brainstorming it. That was my Anew powder that I put on in Bare Beige. I put on my concealers, the Glamouflage in Light. That's by Hard Candy. The Maybelline Cover Stick Concealer in Deep Beige. And now I'm putting on my bronzing powder in suntan. So I want it to be something we can do differently, or we can really do together. So I've decided we're going to do, we'll see how it goes, but I'm looking for people to follow me on my blog who want to do things together. And I don't know what those things are going to be. I want it to be kind of random, which means people need to be open-minded, but it's going to be things like we might read a book together, we might watch a TV show on Netflix together, we might listen to a podcast together, we might, I don't know, watch a television show together, or we might watch a movie together. But I want to do things together. We're doing it together, and we're sharing our thoughts on it, and we're just interacting with each other, and because that is what's fun. So that we can make friends through the different types of media that we're interacting with. Kind of like a book club or something, except for this is going to be open to all different kinds of media. And I want to just let there be a natural flow on how things are chosen. So for example, let's say we start with a TV show, and let's say somewhere in that TV show it references a movie. And so then we decide that we're all going to watch that movie together. So now we can put the reference into context and, have the TV show that we're watching together make more sense. And then maybe the movie, they show a picture of a book, and we say, hey, let's read, let's read that book. I want it to kind of evolve in its own sort of natural way. And the idea is that we just do it together. So, but the thing is it has to be people that are open-minded to life in general, that are open to experiences of all different kinds, because there are going to be some times where we do something that maybe you just don't have an interest in, but you'll do it anyway because you're open-minded to it. And so maybe we're gonna watch a movie that's about politics, okay, and your thing isn't politics, but you're open-minded to it anyway, and you'll watch it anyway because you know that every experience that you have in life teaches you something. So if you read a book that you didn't like, you still learn something in reading that book. Whether you learn more about yourself, whether you learn more about the author, whether you learn more about a writing style, no matter what you learn something, even if you didn't like the book. Whereas a lot of people will read some chapters, and if they're just not into something, they just put it down and go on to the next thing. It's like no attention span, or no, they don't understand how they grow by powering through something, right? And I know some people will say, well, life's too short and I don't want to waste my time on something that I'm not interested in. But so many times I have thought that something was horrible or boring or whatever until I got to the end of it. And then I thought, that's the best thing I have read in a long time, or that's the best thing I've watched in a long time, and I'm so glad I got through it. And then there's times where I held out hope all the way through something and it just never got me. But that's okay too. Okay, so now I'm going to use the Mark All-Time Hookup Longwear eyeshadow. So, and I'm going to pause on that conversation for a minute because I do want to talk about this. The color that I have is Forest Green, and it's kind of like a shimmery. There you can kind of see it. It's like a shimmery green, but it's a gold, not glittery, but I don't know. You know what that is. It's not duochrome, but it has that shimmer through it, and it's gold, the gold thing. And it has it's like a brush tip applicator. I think it's a brush. I don't think it's doe foot. I think it's a brush. So I'm just going to dab this onto my lids. I've already put my primer on. That was the Please Hold primer by Mark. So I'm just going to dab this on the lid and then pat it out. The thing that I don't like about this presentation is that it kind of limits what you can do with the product. like, I can't really put this in my crease very efficiently with this. I mean, I could, but it's going to be messy. You know, I'm kind of forced to dab and pat or put it on the back of my hand and use a brush in some way. And I also, I don't know, a lot of people might consider this like the ideal thing to use as a base, as an eyeshadow base for another shadow. But for me, sorry, I got the hiccups. For me, this is such a pretty color that, you know, like I don't want to cover it up with another shadow. Right? So, I don't know, I like the product, but I've never been a big fan of this type of presentation. There's a lot of products that, you know, come this way and have come this way over the years. And I tend to turn away from them. Like, I just don't, like, I haven't bought any more of these, even though I like this. I haven't bought any more just because it's not my favorite presentation of the product. But anyway, covered in brush hairs. Not from this, from my bronzer brush. I'm getting makeup on my nose. That's my stomach. Okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying. You know, so this is only going to work for open-minded people who are open to all different kinds of experiences and all different kinds of, you know, media or mediums. I mean, if you're, you know, if you're somebody who is like, well, I'll read books, but I'm only going to read books about cats. And I'm only going to read it if it's about a purple cat, because, you know, green cats are just boring. You know? I mean, if you're somebody, that's a silly example, but if you're somebody that's so close, well, first of all, if you're somebody who's that close-minded about life, we wouldn't be friends in real life anyway, because I personally don't think that's any way to be or live, or, you know, if you lead in life with being judgmental, you're going to have problems and you're going to get on my nerves. Anyway, so, you know, this won't work for you, because I don't know what, you know, what we could be doing. And there's a lot of times where we might be doing something that I'm not that interested in, but it's just how the cards played out. And because I try not to be judgmental, I'm going to do it anyway, because, you know, you should. So I think that's what I'm going to do. My blog. So my blog is listed down in the comment section. And I would like for it to be something that we do probably like every day. I mean, if we're watching, if it were something like we're watching a TV show together, then obviously that would have to be every week. But if we're reading a book together, you know, it is not unreasonable to ask people to read a chapter a day. You know what I mean? And come in and comment. You know, I want it to be something that we really do together. I want people to really connect here and have it be where you come to relax at the end of the day. You know, something you can do at the very end of the day to just relax. And maybe, you know, I mean, like if you're married or something, even though I'm a girl, most of the people who follow me are girls, you know, it might even be something that you could do with your spouse. I don't want to say husband, because you can have, you know, same gender spouses and whatever else, but, you know, maybe it's something you can do together, and not everything is gonna, you know, resonate with him, but some things could resonate with him, and just like not everything is gonna resonate with you or with me. So I don't know. You know, maybe we just kind of create our own little social beast here. That's what I would love to do. So if you have any advice for me on how I can, you know, get people to communicate more, because I ask questions and people don't respond, or I don't know, I ask for input. I ask for input all the time, and you know, rarely get it. Let me zoom in. I should have done that a long time ago. It looks a little patchy. It looks more patchy on film than it really is, but it's it's a little patchy, and that's part of because of, you know, the way you apply it, and I just don't like it. So this is the Becoming 3 Cheers Multi-Look Eye Color in Posh, and I'm going to use the green. Sorry, I just tipped it that way because my pans are a little bit loose. So I'm going to use the green up here and smoke this out a little bit along the top. It's a different shade of green, but I want a little something in my crease, and I want to kind of blend the edges a little better. So, I gotta get out of here in like 10 minutes. Uh-oh, gotta hurry. Got a lot of makeup smudging in there. I have a shadow in there too. This is all shadow. Like, that you're seeing. You can't see it in person, but you can see it on camera. Put some I need to put some concealer in there or something. So anyway, I don't know. Does it sound like something you would enjoy doing? I mean, I'm looking for ways to... I want my blog to be a place where people really interact with each other. With me. That we really get into detail about whatever it is we're doing together. And we just kind of share together. The colors just don't show up on my camera. I cannot get lighting right. It's a lighting issue, and I just cannot ever figure it out. Because this looks brown on camera right now, and it's green. It's like a deep olive green. There's nothing brown about it. And you can hardly see it. I don't know. Just can't ever get lighting figured out right. I've got natural lighting here. I've got fake lighting here. I've done every tip that everybody ever says, and it does not work for me. Will not cooperate. Anyway. It always looks worse in the viewfinder as it's filming than it does in actual playback, but it's still not great. I mean, I need to take care of my eyebrows. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I need to shave them. Okay, so anyway, tell me what you think about that. The idea, all of it. Now I'm going to use my Rimmel Specialized Eyeliner Pencil in Hurricane Gray. And I'm just going to line the top lash line. So I'm thinking about starting with a podcast on the blog. And I mean, the podcast is free. There will be times where you might have to buy something, to participate, like a book or a podcast or a movie or something. But most of the time you can rent them, or there's options. So there's a lot, you can go to the library and try and get it from the library, or you can whatever. I'm thinking about starting with a podcast because it's something we can listen to, and then we can come back and comment on it. And I was thinking if I did a podcast, then I would maybe do like a running commentary, like as I listen to it. I would put the time and put my thoughts as it's going through. And then as you're listening to it, you could kind of not only do the same thing in the comments, but you could kind of compare, like, are the thoughts that are going through your mind at the same time similar to what my thoughts were at the same time? I just think that would be so interesting, you know, to kind of see if we're on the same page, or see if we're on we have totally different ideas about what's going on, or see if, you know, and we would probably influence each other. Like, you might say something and I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that could be right. You know, as we try to, like, figure out what's going on, or depending on what it is. But what I don't want it to be is, I don't want it to be something where maybe you do it, and maybe you come and read the blog, and then you just click off your light and go to bed. You know, I want it to be something where we're really participating with each other. So, if you have suggestions on that, on how to inspire people to really participate, or how to write it in a way that people will really participate, or whatever, let me know. I mean, a lot of people will, you know, people will have different opinions, so obviously I wouldn't be able to do all of them, but I could do some of them, you know, and I could take the suggestions and figure out what I feel like makes the most sense for me or to me. Yeah, so let me know what you think, because I think it would be so fun. And the thing about it is, it's like, you know, from the comfort of your own home. You can lay in bed and do it. You can do it on your lunch break at work. You can, you know, you can do it whenever. And there might be gaps in between, like maybe, you know, if everybody, like if we're going to do a book one time, you know, there might be like a 2-week gap where I give people time to, like, buy the book, get the book, reserve the book, you know, whatever. But for the most part, I'm really hoping that this can be like an everyday thing, or like 5 days a week type thing. You know, maybe leave the weekends out. I don't know. Something along those lines. That's how I would really like for it to go. So I used my brow powder and just gave a little color to my brows. Now I'm going to put my mascara on. This is the Super Drama Mascara in brown black. So, I mean, what do you respond to? I mean, I find that a lot of people comment on people's blogs or videos or whatever. I got little foundation rings around my nose. I hate that. Because they just want to be noticed. Like, I want that person to see me. It's almost like, you know, oh, this person is famous in my mind, and so I, like, you know, I'm hoping the famous person will notice me, respond to me. You know, so a lot of times people just comment, and a lot of times it doesn't even have anything to do with the blog post or the medium. And obviously I don't want that, and obviously I'm not famous or anything, so I can't see people doing that. I get the spammers that are trying to get people to come to their blogs sometimes. But it never works, and I always delete those and, you know, block those people anyway, because that's not, I don't know, nobody likes that. It doesn't work anyway. I don't know why they waste their entire lives trying to do it, but anywho, so, you know, for those of you that don't do that kind of thing, that, you know, do participate in blogs, what kind of thing gets you to respond? Do questions get you to respond, or is it really just you're kind of so in awe of that person that you want to communicate with them? Am I not inspiring enough awe in people? I don't want anybody to be in awe of me, and I don't want to be famous or anything like that. I don't know. You tell me, what would get you to participate the most? How can I get you really spending some time? Because like, for example, I mean, if let's say we do a podcast and it's like a 30-minute thing. So that's, your 30 minutes that you're dedicating in your day to listen to the episode of the podcast that we're listening to that day, right? And then to come and comment takes time. And the more you comment on, like if you were to do the same thing as I did down in the comments, like say for example, if I use my example where I said that I kind of go and I list the time and my thoughts at the time. So if you were to do something like that, that would take you, some time. So, you're talking, you might have dedicated an hour of your day to this thing that we're doing together, which I don't think is an excessive amount of time. I mean, look, people always talk about how they don't have time. I don't have any time in my day. I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to do this. But you find out they watch 7 hours of television every day. It's like, you got time, So, this is time that you're designating out of your day, which I appreciate, to participate. And the more that you participate, the more time you gave to it, which I appreciate even more. So, I don't know. What do you think? How much would you participate? Does it sound fun to you? I mean, I love the idea, and I've been trying to manifest that in some way for forever. But maybe I'm just a lone weirdo and I'm the only person. But I think people come to the internet looking for people to relate to and interact with. Not everybody, but a lot of people. So, and that's what I enjoy. So anyway, I think my lipstick might be in my coat. I'm not sure. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is my Glass Reflections lipstick in Glossy Spice. I used a Mary Kay blush. I used the Hard Candy Blush Crush Baked Blush in Honeymoon as a highlight. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Tell me your thoughts. Give me your feedback. Okay, so I'm going to throw my hair up in a barrette. I'm going to finger comb through it because the mousse that I use makes my hair really piecey, which you can probably see. So I'm going to, normally I would run a comb through it to break up those pieces so it's not quite so piecey. And I'm just going to throw it up in a barrette. It's still got a few little damp patches, but I'm pretty much dry. Back up a little bit. You guys can still see I've got my Christmas boxes over there with Christmas gifts in it. What do you do with your, I don't know. I'm one of those people that I like to pick something out like every day and kind of slowly incorporate my Christmas gifts into my life, because it kind of drags out the Christmas cheer for me a little bit. I'm not one of those people who likes to just take everything and put them all away, because I'm an out of sight, out of mind kind of person. Once I put things away, I forget that I have them and I won't use them. So if I do it a little bit at a time and use the stuff as I go, first of all, I appreciate it more. Second of all, I don't forget that I have it. Thirdly, it stretches out my holiday, sort of, keeps the cheer going through the dreary winter months. Okay, that's it. I'm ready for the day. So what do you guys do? But yeah, so anyway, so I still have like a mess. My room is still there's some over here too, and there's some empties that are piling up right here too. So, you could tell me what you think about the blog thing, if you have an opinion. Please have an opinion on it. Okay, and what do you think about the eyeshadow, if you can see the color at all. It's pretty, right? I hate to cover it up. I could take some of that white and put a little of the white just in the center for even more dimension, but it's got that gold kind of sheen to it, so brush hairs. Alright, well, I think next time, I think I'm going to do another look, probably, with the Revlon Color Stay Not Just Nudes palette. This is the Romantic Nudes version. I've done one of these already, and I'll, if I remember, I'll link that one down in the information bar if you want to go back and look at that one. But I think I'm going to do another one, another look, so if you got that palette, or if you're going to go get that palette, you know, this might give you some ideas on looks you could do with it. I think I'll do that one next. Alright, well, it is Thursday when I'm filming this, so I hope, whatever day you see this, I hope you have a great day. And comment below, let me know how you're doing, and give me your feedback if you have any thoughts on the blog situation, or even here on, you know, I hate the whole, please subscribe, comment below, click the like button, blah, blah, blah. You know, this is not about, this is not business. This is, you know, I'm not here to grow my numbers. I'm here to make connections, right? Connections. Alright, I'll see you next time. Have a great day.